The world is gathered in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, diplomats rushing between meetings, trying to fix the old problems with new talks. And you know what? Right in the middle of all this drama, Iran dropped a clear message. A message that our oil will keep on flowing to China no matter what sanctions you bring back. Well, Iran's oil minister, Mohsen, made it very blunt. He said even if the so called snapback UN sanctions are activated, Iran's oil exports to China won't stop. Why? Because according to him, Iran has already lived through the worst of sanctions, the US's tough ones, and they kind of survived. So, UN sanctions, in his words, are not going to add much to their problems now. Let's look at a bigger picture here. The Europeans, be it France, Britain, be it Germany, the so called E3, according to them, along with the European Union foreign policy chief, has been desperately trying to bring Iran back into their compliance with 2015 nuclear deal. That particular deal was supposed to keep Iran from building nuclear weapons, right? But Tehran has been enriching uranium way beyond the agreed level, limiting inspectors' access and pushing the envelope. So basically, the E3 triggered a 30-day countdown on August 28 just to bring back the United Nations sanctions back. If there's no deal by September 27th, the sanctions will kick in. Now, what does Iran stand to lose here? Well, technically, a lot. UN sanctions would mean global restriction on weapons trade, tighter financial limits, and pressure on countries not to buy the Iranian oil. But here's the twist. China is Iran's lifeline right now. Last year, China brought almost 80% of Iran's oil export. Despite sanctions, Chinese refineries quietly bought Russian crude oil at very discounted rate, often disguising it as oil from other sources. Now, this underground trade is what keeps Iran's economy breathing. And for China, well, for Beijing, the Iranian oil is cheap. It helps reduce dependency on other suppliers, specifically when global prices are really high. So both the countries benefit here, be it Iran. Iran gets a steady buyer, China gets affordable fuel. Western sanctions may block official deals, but they can't stop these two from doing business behind closed doors. So when their foreign ministers say that oil sales to China will continue, it's not just illusion, it's reality. Iran has built an entire shadow system just to move its oil. Ships that turn off trackers, complex paperwork to hide the origins, and middlemen in different countries. Unless China decides to back off, which looks very unlikely by the way, sanctions won't cut off this relationship. So here's the irony. The West is trying to pressure Iran through sanctions, but Iran has already adopted. So, in fact, some analysts argue that Iran has turned sanctions into the new normal. Painful? Yes, but manageable as long as China stands by.